Hey guys, it's Josiah here, back again with a client interview. Today we've got our client Vimmal. He's joining us here. He's been in the group for a few months now, and I wanted to record this video to see basically where he's been before joining the program, how he's finding it, and the results he's got right now. Because Vimal's one of the he's one of the top dogs in the program right now, so he's killing it. So if you don't know who he is, Vimal, if you just do a quick introduction about yourself, the niche that you work in, what you do, and yeah, we take it from there.
Yeah, so name is Vimmal, run a lead gen agency offering like cold email, like outbound ads and stuffing. In terms of the niche, we pretty much like spread out like with the B2B niche in general. So anything from like agency owners to like aerospace engineers basically.
Fantastic.
Um, yeah, that's like, I guess, good intro.
Perfect, perfect. And I wanted to actually start before you actually joined us. Like, can you walk us through like what were you doing before joining us? I know you were still running an agency, but how was it like before joining the group, right? In terms of like your day to day or like problems that you had just before joining the group and everything.
Yeah, I mean, before joining the group, like the agency was doing, I would say, okay. Like we were at like 10, 20K a month. But problem was, I was doing everything. I was stuck in the day to day. Revenue was very inconsistent. So some months would be at 20K and the following month would be at like 8K, for example.
Mm,
So it's like a very churn and burn type of approach. There's no like systems. The operations were basically non-existent.
mm,
And yeah, it was like just an overall mess. It's just a freelancer basically.
mm. I completely
And now
understand that.
everything's been like, I guess, systemized, like a proper business at this point.
Mm, I get that. And when you say like freelancer, right? What do you mean by that? Was it like, because I know you're already good at acquisition before joining, right? You already knew how to acquire some clients. But some people think that acquisition is just like, acquisition, then your business is kind of is magically done, right?
Nah.
So with you, like, can you walk us through how did that operational bottleneck look like when you were just doing everything yourself?
Yeah, I mean, like everything from like booking clients in to like the inbox management for my clients to jumping on my sales calls to troubleshooting any bad campaigns, rotating lead lists, doing the copy, jumping on check-in calls weekly. Like you will reach a cap like at I think the cap I had was about 10 clients, and at
Mm-hmm.
that point some clients will get worse results than others because you're too
Mm,
like spread out. So then it becomes like a churn and burn type of approach. So like my
mm,
problem was never signing clients, like I always sign clients, but the problem was like keeping them and actually like delivering uh, at least what I would consider like good service that's worth what they're paying.
perfect. And how did that affect your lifestyle? Because like making 8K a month is good. Like you're one of the top 1% earners, right? Or 5% earners in any country, right? But like it seemed like you were just working like endless hours and it feels like you were just spinning the wheel. So how was your lifestyle impacted at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I think at that point I was working like what, 15 hours, 14 hours a day, Monday to Sunday, like 3 4 hours of sleep every day. Like you don't have a life. You make 8K a month, but like you can't do anything. You just sit behind the screen from morning to night. Doesn't make sense.
Perfect, man, 100%. And yeah, and at what point did you feel like, because usually some people have like a turning point when it's like, okay, now I need help, or some people are just always constantly investing in themselves. Was there a point when you realized, okay, I can't like be living like this anymore? Like I actually have to make a change. Was there a point in your journey when you've kind of made that decision to like, oh, I'm gonna stop living like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think before I joined the program, like I kind of gave myself like an ultimatum: either figure it out or just scrap the agency because it's just not worth it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so like while trying to figure it out, I was like looking at programs, came across this program, so I thought, what's the worst that happened?
Hmm. And were you in programs before joining us, like other programs?
Yeah, I mean, like the typical ones, right, that most lead gen agencies do, like cold email mastery. Um, the cold email mastery, I did a couple. I was planning on Imperium acquisition,
Mm-hmm.
like Charlie Morgan's one.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I just saw like you guys ran a lead gen agency. You scaled it to 50K, I think, in 3 months.
Yeah.
And your operations were quite lean since you guys were still making content at the time. Well, at least that's what I
Hmm.
assumed. So I thought if anybody, these guys should be able to help.
Perfect. And and besides from, of course, and what did you find different, like after you joined versus the courses you've done before, right? What kind of key differentiators make this course different and actually give you results versus the other courses that you've done?
Yeah, I think the main thing is that you guys just don't only offer the basics. So like any lead gen course will cover the same stuff: set up email records, get a domain, connect to workspace, that sort of thing. But like you guys actually go into like, okay, deliverability, here's how you fix it. Operations, here's how you fix it. Here's how you map out like your next batch of hires. And it's also like the calls like weekly, where I can like come with all the problems that I have. Okay, how do I fix this, this and that?
Perfect, man. And if you guys don't know, Vimal comes to every call, asks as much questions as anyone's ever asked me ever, but then gets the most results. So there's a correlation between that. And okay, so it seems like when you're just about to like make the jump and jump in, the main thing was operations. Was there any other
Yeah.
reason for joining the program? I know operations, us, and also us having a lead gen agency actually scaling out in one. Was there any other reasons except that you decided to join and everything?
Yeah, I mean the operations was one thing. The other thing as well is I also wanted to kind of like see what else can be offered aside from just like cold email, right? So,
Mm,
because everybody does cold email, like there's only so much that can be done, and outbound, the only issue is you just run out of leads eventually. So I
mm,
needed like other ways to kind of like get in front of clients or prospects at least.
mm. Okay. And when you mean other ways, because now I know you started from email before, but now your acquisition has evolved. So in what way has your acquisition has evolved outside of email right now?
Yeah, I mean now we're doing LinkedIn, SMS, ads as well. So like let's say something breaks, you're not like stressed like, oh, how do I get my next client? I'm not getting enough appointments. Like if email breaks, okay, who cares? We'll fix it later.
Perfect. And I remember the story of email breaking for you, like not only once, but like twice, right? Twice. And we knew we just had to jump it every single time. And yeah, how was that like, how do you feel now not relying on just one source? Let's say email, which has its up and down, depending every 6 months.
Yeah, it's just a different kind of piece. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm having some deliverability problems now, but like I could not care less, honestly.
Perfect. Oh man. And I also want to talk about kind of the growth you've had because before joining, how many appointments were you booking like per day or per week?
I think per week we were getting about like maybe 5 to 10, sometimes 15, depending. Like if I have the time to do like any additional outreach.
Mhm.
Um, now we're doing that in a day, like 10 to 15 a day. So it's like night and day difference.
So now, so you're booking 10, 15 calls a day. So like, like I wouldn't actually raise the fact as like you went from 5 to 15 a week to 5 to 10 to 15 a day, right?
Yeah.
How has that changed your business right now? Because some people don't even get that in a month and you're getting it in 24 hours. How has that made a difference?
Yeah, it's made it easier to scale because now you're not really like begging clients to come on board. You kind of like pick and choose, which is like the biggest problem with the agency space, in my opinion. Like if you don't get the right clients, good luck scaling. Uh, So like we don't have to like be desperate for clients. Clients will churn eventually, but like that does not like put any burden on you. You're still like quite relaxed about it. Like if a client leaves today, I could probably replace them tomorrow. You can hire better team members because your appointments are consistent, revenue is consistent. Like it's just so much more peaceful. Granted, you have to
Mm.
jump on 10, 15 calls a day, but it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, and now you're detached from sales, right? Because you've got sales reps now, so you're
Yeah.
not you don't have to be in the day to day of selling for your business to grow at the moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, I still do it because I enjoy it. But like, yeah, I have like sales reps. Maybe I only maybe take like couple calls. Only jump in when like it gets really like packed. Just like free up their
Mm.
calendar. But other than that, I can actually like focus on building out the agency as opposed to like working in my like giving myself a job basically.
Cool. And that's a big thing, I would say, because a lot of people they think they have an agency, but they just have a glorified freelancer job,
Yeah,
right?
basically.
Which is crazy. And I wanted to actually talk about kind of like yeah, making money is good, and we'll go about in terms of your revenue. But I want to talk about more how's your lifestyle being affected because I know recently you bought a new car and everything. Like, how is how has that been affected? Because now, as you said before, you had inconsistent revenue, and now it's consistent. Now you don't have to be attached from the sales. You don't have to be in the everyday actually selling your own service. People do that for you. How has that had an impact in like your lifestyle, your relationships, things that you've done outside of work?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's just more like I said, it's just more peaceful. Like I'm not like so like honestly, the peace of mind is something that like is hard
Mm.
to conceptualize because day in day out I have to like sit down and work on client campaigns. I have to sit down and worry about where my next client's gonna come from. If a client's complaining, I have to scrap everything I'm doing just to jump on that client's campaigns. So now it's like, I mean, I still work 12, 13 hours a day, but that's because I want to like build the agency. But at the same time, like I'm quite, I wouldn't say detached from it, but I'm not like panicking about like every small thing that goes wrong. Like I said, like we're having some deliverability problems with emails. I think the last two times I brought this up with you, I was like, bro, I have to close my agency. Like I'm screwed. Now
Uh,
it's like, okay, I've got email problems. So what? Or like when clients leave, like I used to be like panicking, like, oh my god, my revenue's been set back. How am I going to get the next client? Now it's like, okay, so be it.
so be it. And I like that. And what do you feel like is the main things that you learned from, let's say, being with us, right? Let's say in the last 4 months. If there's any like key, like 1 to 3 lessons that you learned, right, that's really made a change in your business in this last, let's say, 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is obviously like with outbound, I guess like I was doing like typical like cookie cutter kind of approach
Hmm.
that everybody is doing. But like with the program, at least there's like different strategies I can kind of like test out, which work significantly better. Other platforms that I can kind of like expand into, not just rely on like cold email, and then like how to actually build the operation. So like take what's in my head and kind of like use that to train either people that know how to do the role or like somebody that's completely new. So that's like the biggest thing honestly for me.
Perfect. And because I want to touch on something, the reason I asked that is because how much were you charging before joining the program? How much were you charging the clients?
Well, it's gonna sound embarrassing, dude. But like, nah, at one point I was doing $1,500 setup plus $50 per call.
Wow. That meant
It's basically like hopeless.
that means to get to the same point that you are now, you would have had to sign like 70 to like 100 clients to get to the same point.
70 to 100 clients is one thing. I need to make sure each client gets at least 20 to 30 appointments a month at a minimum.
Wow. I could just imagine the headache. I could just imagine the headache if you.
That's why I said like it was like I kind of gave myself like an ultimatum: either fix this or just close the agency. That is a waste of time. I mean, it ranges depending on the business, but it hovers around anywhere from like 4.5k all the way up to 7.5k. It probably will increase soon. Um, to be fair, yeah. So like, it depends on the industry. So like, let's say agencies, it's like 3 months minimum. For like some of the other companies like IT service or cybersec is like 6 months. Other more, I guess, sophisticated niches is like 12-month contracts minimum. Yeah, I mean, like before this, I used to just work with agency owners, but I wanted to kind of like expand because it just feels weird. Like it just felt like I could only do one thing at a time, like just get appointments for agency owners. Like I wouldn't say I was like good at lead gen because I could get agency owners appointments, right? So then I tried like, I didn't niche hop. I basically just did all niches I could think of at the same time, which, to be fair, wasn't a big deal. Like I don't know, me personally, I enjoyed that more because I kind of like spread my risk, if that makes sense. And like you have to kind of like think outside the box on how to build your operations. You can't just like hire a VA, give them like some templatized scripts. All right, here's how you do inbox management. Like, so I needed to like kind of get creative with the service delivery, how we actually like manage everything efficiently, so that we can scale to the amount of clients that we have now. Yeah, I mean, in terms of like operationally, like they we know the approach works. It's just like the nuances within the thing, right? So like, so how the scripts are made, or like what's being said. Like that's the only thing that changes from niche to niche. In terms of like the service delivery standpoint, um, so we do a lot of warm calling basically. So like most people, they tend to just get like an inbox manager to like chase after someone and send a calendar link to book them on. But because our niches are different, that doesn't work. Like we need to do a lot of warm calling to kind of like book the calls. But because of that, appointment volume for clients is gone up significantly. I think before this we used to average like 10 to 15 appointments a month for clients. Now we've got some clients who are booking like 40, 50 calls a month just with cold email. Yeah. I mean, the main thing is like the only way you build out your ops is you either delegate it or you automate it. Um, but I don't think there's anything else that can be done. So, given my skill set, I'll just try to automate it first before I delegate it. Especially like all the repeatable tasks like rotating lead lists, building, doing the market research for clients. Hell, even the copywriting for the most part, like it's technically automated to an extent. There is still like manual elements like with clay and all that stuff, but like since most of the stuff stays the same, like the inputs more or less stay the same, you can automate it as opposed to hiring like cheap VAs. Yeah, so I actually don't do much of the service delivery anymore. Like I only work on like my internal campaigns or like anything like that. If I'm assuming anything breaks, like let's say like again the deliverability problem at the moment, then I'll probably like work on that for a bit until I like fix it. But for the most part, like client campaigns I handle. Like we've got a campaign manager to do all of that, CSM as well to help, SDRs to help with the warm calling. Like yeah, for the most part, because everything's been mapped out. Like all they need to do is just like use the templates that we tested across all the niches and just build on top of it with like their existing skill set. Yeah, I mean at the start it was like around 10 20k, but it was like so inconsistent. It did drop below that. Now we had like we're going to be hitting 70k so most likely this week. No, easily pass 100k, that's not an issue. You can't even compare, dude. Before this everybody was like making 10 20k, now everybody's talking like in the millions, bro. I was like shit. Put it this way, one of the clients we signed, like, they've got 70 billion pounds of asset under management. Billion, bro. I was like, this is not some 10, 20k conversation anymore, dude. I mean, there's no more price objection. That's the best part. Like, you can throw any number, they'll be like, ah, sorry, I need to think about it. I need to, like, none of this nonsense, bro. Yeah, I mean, conversion rates, even when we were targeting like smaller companies, it was around like 30 to 50%. Like, depending on months, like, first quarter normally is a bit slow, second quarter starts to like pick up. Third quarter, depending on the business, is a bit slow, and then last quarter picks back up again. So like conversion rate was consistent. It's just that the quality of clients that we're working with is so much better. It's so much easier to get them results. Like for example, like if let's say you're doing cold outbound for like Deloitte or Accenture, you don't need social proof. Like you just need to have Deloitte.com in the domain, and everybody knows who you are. To be fair, I used to think the same thing until I accidentally like messed up a lead list. I did not set like the employee filters. I was like reaching out to anybody, one employee to like 10,000 employees in the same campaign. And then we closed a few, and I looked at like the ones that did close. Most of them were like big companies. I was like, I'm just gonna, might as well just go all in. I mean, it's mainly positioning, right? So like before this, I basically was just positioning myself like everybody, like, oh, we'll get you 10 to 20 appointments a month on a pay on results basis, or your money back guaranteed, or I'll refund you. Like it's just typical positioning. So like you just look like a freelancer trying to like sell the same crap. But now it's like we're talking to businesses like solving the actual problems. So like everything from the lead gen to the like talent acquisition to their operations. Yeah, and like the conversation is just so much more different, honestly. Yeah, I would say just bite the bullet and go for it. Like, what's the worst that'll happen? Like, realistically, I mean, you join, you get outbound strategies that's working. If you don't join, you're just stuck with the same problem, though. So, yeah, like, it's not really a big, like, either you fix the problem or you don't, right?